Welcome to our honored guests, parents, family members, famille de pension, live stream viewers, faculty, staff, and most importantly, students from the class of 2026, as we celebrate the 70th graduation ceremony of Neuchâtel Junior College. Bonjour et bienvenue aux invités d'honneur, aux membres de la famille, aux enseignantes, au personnel et spécialement aux étudiants à l'occasion du 70e anniversaire ou, pour les Canadiennes, 70e cérémonie de remise de diplôme de Neuchâtel Junior College. For those who do not know me, my name is Daniel Lamoth, and as the department head of mathematics and science, it is my honor to be here and be the master of ceremonies this afternoon. Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Daniel Lamotte et en tant que chef du département de mathématiques et sciences du collège, j'ai l'honneur d'être le maître de cérémonie cet après-midi. Je voudrais prendre un moment pour remercier toutes nos familles de pension. Tout au long de l'année, lors de mes discussions avec les étudiants, j'ai leur ai souvent demandé ce qui leur manquerait le plus de leur séjour à Neuchâtel. La réponse était presque toujours la même, leur famille de pension. À vous, nos chères familles de pension, vous avez traité nos étudiants comme de véritables membres de la famille. Et pour cela, nous vous remercions infiniment. The class of 2026 that we are celebrating here today are no ordinary group of students. In their short time here in Neuchâtel, they have made their mark. And as we will hear more today, the list of accolades is impressive. We have Ontario scholars and honor roll students. We have bilingual students who will receive French immersion certificates. We have student musicians, performers, and creators. And they have all shown a dedication to their studies that all of us in this room can be proud of. Outside of the class, they explored all that living in Europe has to offer: culture, food, language, clothing, and of course, festivals and fun. Lots of fun. All the students are leaving Neuchâtel with a profound experience that has shaped them and prepared them for the next step. Today marks the culminating of years of hard work, late night study sessions, perseverance, and unforgettable memories. As we gather here, we celebrate not only the academic achievements of our graduates, but also the growth, resilience, and friendships that have been built along the way. On a personal note, the students in front of me today have made my family's time at NJC particularly special. I have two young children, Charlotte and Luke, and throughout the year, my children have been fortunate enough to share experiences with our students, some of which include the Des Alpes Festival in Lignières, a school trip to Poland, a student-led coffee house, and of course, lunchtime at the Romarin. It is at this cafeteria where my children adore getting a chance to go and sit and hang out with the older, cool kids. It speaks to the character of the students here at NJC that my children see them as role models and young adults to look up to. Many of them face daily pressures and busy schedules, but this class of students carves out time to create a positive and impactful community. As a parent and a teacher, I would like to say how proud I am of these students who sit in front of me today for their kindness and their leadership in the community that surrounds them. And now, it's time to hear from some of our honored guests that are with us this afternoon. Here to bring greetings from the Embassy in Bern, His Excellency Jean-Paul Lemieux, Ambassador of Canada to Switzerland and Liechtenstein.
Well, good morning, distinguished guests, proud families, dedicated faculty, and of course, the stars of the show today, the graduating class of 2026. First, let me say congratulations. You've done it. You've survived exams, deadlines, group projects, and many of those group projects. And perhaps most impressively, a year of being Canadian students trying to explain to Europeans why we say sorry too much. And here you are, graduating in one of the most beautiful places in the world, with a lake behind you, mountains around you, and if you're truly Canadian, a quiet appreciation that the chocolate and the cheese situation here in Switzerland is just simply exceptional. Le Neuchâtel Junior College occupe une place très particulière dans l'histoire du Canada à l'étranger. Depuis des décennies, cet établissement accomplit quelque chose de remarquable. Il permet à des jeunes Canadiens de traverser l'Atlantique et leur offre le cadeau d'une perspective véritablement internationale. Il a aidé des générations d'étudiants à découvrir que le monde est à la fois beaucoup plus vaste et beaucoup plus interconnecté qu'ils n'auraient l'imaginé. Neuchâtel Junior College has produced remarkable alumni who have gone on to excel in fields ranging from entertainment and entrepreneurship to science, education, and public service. Today, you join that proud tradition. À la promotion 2026, vous quittez aujourd'hui cette institution avec bien plus que les connaissances acquises dans la salle de classe. Vous repartez avec une compréhension plus profonde des différentes cultures, des diverses perspectives et des multiples façons de voir le monde. One of the great lessons of studying abroad is realizing that what seemed once unfamiliar can quickly become familiar. A new country, new friends, new customs, things that may have felt daunting when you arrived are now part of your story. Remember that lesson. The next time you face uncertainty, whether at university, in your career, or elsewhere in life, remind yourself that you have done this before. You adapted, you grew, and you succeeded. Today is also a moment to recognize an individual whose leadership has shaped the Neuchâtel Junior experience for so many students. For the past 8 years, Andrew Kaler has served as the head of school with dedication, steady leadership, and I suspect a remarkable ability to guide students through everything from the first Swiss winter to their first attempt at navigating a 4-language conversation, let alone 2. Andrew, as you prepare to return to Canada and become head of school at St. John's Kilmarnock School in Ontario, we wish you every success. I understand your family is settling into a beautiful heritage home in Guelph, and between the history of the house and the excitement of a new leadership role, I suspect there will be no shortage of adventures ahead for you. Au nom de l'ambassade du Canada en Suisse, je tiens à vous remercier pour l'héritage que vous laissez ici. Votre leadership a renforcé non seulement cette institution, mais également ses liens avec le Canada. Vous avez contribué à créer un environnement où les étudiants se rentrent soutenus, stimulés et inspirés. Pour cela, nous vous en sommes profondément reconnaissants. À bien de ces égards, vous avez vous-même servi comme ambassadeur du Canada grâce à votre dévouement, votre intégrité et votre engagement envers les jeunes. Graduates, as you leave Neuchâtel, please take with you your memories, your friendships, and perhaps an enduring preference for European coffee and winters over anything you'll find back home. But most importantly, you leave with something more valuable, the confidence that comes from stepping outside your comfort zone and succeeding. Le monde dans lequel vous entrez est complexe et constante en évolution, mais l'expérience que vous avez vécue ici a vous bien préparé à relever les défis qui vous attendent. Restez curieux, restez adaptable, demeurez ouvert aux nouvelles idées et nouvelles perspectives. And yes, don't forget to bring a little Swiss punctuality back with you to Canada. We look forward to seeing the difference you will all make. I know you'll succeed in changing this world. Congratulations, class of 2026. Félicitations à la promotion de 2026. Merci tout le monde.
Thank you, Ambassador, for your message to our students. Please accept this small token from our school for being here today. Et aussi pour l'attaché Jérémy Blanchard. Graduates, You are now part of a special community that will support you through the rest of your education and your careers. Neuchâtel Junior College alumni. Some of the family members sitting here today might be a part of that prestigious group. One person who belongs to that group is our next guest speaker, le président du conseil de fondation, our Swiss board, Bryn McCrossan-Mayer. Bryn is an NJC alumna from the class of 1992 and will now welcome the class of 2026.
Votre Excellence, Monsieur l'Ambassadeur, Monsieur le Directeur, chers parents, chères familles d'accueil, chers membres du personnel, and especially dear class of 2026. Congratulations, you made it. And you made it with style, resilience, and probably a little less sleep than you would have liked, and a relationship with coffee that has probably become a little too serious. C'est un vrai plaisir pour moi d'être ici aujourd'hui, au nom du conseil de fondation et aussi en tant qu'ancien élève du NJC, pour célébrer avec vous cette étape si importante. A graduation ceremony is always a special moment. It is full of pride, excitement, relief, and for some of you, perhaps a little disbelief that you actually survived exams, deadlines, group projects, and living out of your comfort zone, excuse me, all at once. Mais NJC, ce n'est pas seulement des résultats scolaires. C'est une année qui vous transforme. Une année où on apprend à se débrouiller, à s'ouvrir à d'autres, à comprendre d'autres cultures et souvent aussi à découvrir une version de soi-même qu'on ne connaissait pas encore. You learn much more here than what was written in textbooks. You learned how to listen in another language, how to adapt, how to become independent, how to build relationships that can last far beyond one school year, and perhaps how seriously Switzerland takes punctuality. When a bus schedule says it is leaving at 7:37, it doesn't mean a minute earlier or a minute later. Et il faut que nous remercions tout particulièrement les familles d'accueil. Vous ouvrez vos maisons, vos habitudes, vos traditions et même vos frigos à des jeunes qui arrivent ici pleins d'enthousiasme, mais aussi parfois un peu perdus. Votre rôle est essentiel dans l'expérience du NJC. In my case, I should perhaps be especially grateful to the host family system because after my NJC year, I ended up marrying my pension son. So when the school talks about immersive education, I feel qualified to say that in my case, the program may have been especially successful, as it was very immersive. Plus sérieusement, cette année peut vraiment changer une vie. Je le sais parce qu'elle a changé la mienne. Ce qui semblait au départ n'être qu'une année d'études à l'étranger est devenu le point de départ de toute une vie en Suisse. D'études universitaires, une carrière, une famille et un attachement profond à cette école. That is why one of the beautiful things about NJC, at the time, you do not always realize how important this year will become. Later, you understand that it gave you confidence, perspective, and a wider view of the world. Aujourd'hui, vous terminez un chapitre, et comme chaque fin d'année, cela s'accompagne sans doute d'un mélange d'émotions, de fierté, joie et un peu de nostalgie, et peut-être aussi une certaine inquiétude face à la suite. C'est normal. You do not need to have everything figured out today. Very few people do, no matter how confident they may look in their graduation pictures. What matters is that you leave here with curiosity, courage, and the willingness to keep learning. Le monde dans lequel vous avancez a besoin de jeunes capables de réfléchir, de s'adapter, de dialoguer et de construire des ponts entre les cultures. Il a besoin de personnes comme vous, ouvertes, courageuses et prêtes à faire une différence. So wherever life takes you next, hold on to what this year has taught you. Be curious, be kind, be brave, enough to say yes to new opportunities, and wise enough to laugh at yourself when things do not go exactly as planned. Et surtout, n'oubliez pas que vous ferez toujours partie de la famille NJC. À partir d'aujourd'hui, vous rejoignez une communauté d'élèves, d'anciens élèves liés à une expérience unique et par des souvenirs que vous porterez longtemps avec vous. This is not just an of your NJC story. It is simply a moment when you turn the page and begin writing the next chapter. Je vous souhaite à tous beaucoup de succès, de bonheur et de belles aventures par la suite. Congratulations, class of 2026.
A big thank you to our Présidente du Conseil de Fondation, Bryn. I would now like to call upon Ms. Denise Coates, member of the Board of Directors from the Swiss Group of International Schools, the SGIS, to speak to the graduates. Unfortunately, she's not here yet, so we'll do a little pivot and we'll introduce our next guest. But to help me introduce my next guest, I'm going to call up our Pension coordinator, Ms. Geraldine Gangeben.
Chères familles d'accueil, parents et étudiants, en tant que coordinatrice de famille d'accueil, je tenais à remercier toutes les familles d'accueil. Sans vous, notre programme de famille d'accueil ne pourrait tout simplement pas exister. Il est essentiel au bien-être et à l'épanouissement de nos étudiants. Cette année, nous avons l'immense honneur de donner la parole à l'une de nos familles d'accueil, présente à nos côtés depuis de nombreuses années, 21 ans. Ils ont accueilli pas moins de 40 étudiants et parmi eux des frères et des sœurs qui ont séjourné chez eux pour leur accueil chaleureux. Nous tenons à les remercier chaleureusement pour leur incroyable fidélité et leur engagement indéfectible envers Neuchâtel Junior College. Sous vos applaudissements, je vous demande d'accueillir la famille Girardin.
Chères familles, chers étudiants, chers membres du personnel du Junior College, and dear pension, chère pension. Any reason to start the adventure is different. Sometimes we think it will be only for 1 year or 2 years, but for certain people as us, it has lasted for 21 years. 21 ans, 2005-2026, 33 adolescents que nous avons eu le plaisir de voir s'épanouir et vivre une nouvelle expérience loin de chez eux, avec les joies, mais également les peines et les coups de blues. Nous avions 34 ans quand nous avons commencé. Tim, notre aîné, en avait 8, Thaïs 5 et Stan 2. Today, here we are. Years have flown by, but for us, it seems that it was yesterday.
Les premiers étudiants ont été des grands frères, des grandes sœurs pour nos enfants.
At the beginning, your children were models for our kids. Then they had the same age, the same deliriums, same laugh, and same foolish things.
Une bien belle histoire, même si parfois ça a été rock'n'roll. My English is very not good. But, attention, the curfew. No shilling the door. The light, please. Shh, Michel is sleeping. Where is the key? No alcohol. Et j'en passe. And no sorry. OK, boys?
Comment sommes-nous vus et considérés en septembre, quand les étudiants arrivent? Ça. In September, we are nobody. A friend, a brother, a close relationship? Not really. We are, what is our status? Pour notre part, c'est une aventure avec un grand A. Nous vous ouvrons notre porte et notre cœur. Nous ne savons rien d'eux, comme eux ne savent rien de nous. When we welcome them, everything has to be written and built.
Le rôle des pensions est essentiel. Il est primordial que nous soyons accueillants, bienveillants, aimants, soutenants et que nous considérions les étudiants comme nos propres enfants.
For you, dear parents, it's also a huge step. Your daughter, your son is leaving the nest far away in a foreign country and without having, and having a daily eye on your child. Thank you to trust the pensions. Il est important que les parents croient en nous et en notre rôle. Nous avons une mission et c'est la clé du succès quand la confiance est de mise. The students also have to learn that their Swiss daily life doesn't correspond to what they were used to up to now. It's just different. You can be proud of them, they did it. Quand on doit se dire au revoir, c'est un see you. Pour notre part, nous savons que cela risque d'être long avant de pouvoir les serrer à nouveau dans nos bras. We deeply hope that they will keep an amazing souvenir of us, but us, we know that they have a colossal place in our heart and that our door will always be open.
Quel est notre statut? En juin, nous le connaissons. Nous sommes leur famille suisse.
Yes, in June, we really know that we are their Swiss family. Aujourd'hui, 21 ans d'aventure se terminent pour nous et nous souhaitons à toutes les pensions le meilleur pour leurs futures histoires. Nous remercions également le Junior College pour offrir la possibilité à des jeunes de vivre avec nous et ainsi de favoriser cet échange si précieux. Merci pour toute cette belle collaboration. Today we are at the end. Merci à nos étudiants passés, dont Kate and Kate.
And finally, Calvin and Kishan.
Thank you. Thank you to have been the last of this wonderful story. Boys?
Attends.
Ah non, ça c'est...
C'est à moi. Boys, vous avez relevé le défi haut la main, avec joie, bonheur, humour, respect et brio. Thank you.
No more curfew.
It's a key, it's a key.
You were amazing. Wonderful.
And
The year was crazy with you. Il n'y a plus qu'à se dire.
see you
and love you.
Thank you for such a good year. I had tried. Oh my God, I had
Nous avons le plaisir de leur offrir un cadeau de la part de NJC, de Neuchâtel Junior College, remis par Kishan et Calvin, étudiants de cette année 2025-2026. Ainsi qu'un cadeau de la part des étudiants qui ont séjourné dans la famille Girardin toutes ces dernières années et qui est remis par deux anciennes étudiantes, Kate Roy et Kate Bannister.
Michel, c'est trop long. Merci. Thank you.
À la famille Girardin, merci beaucoup pour votre magnifique message. And just to let you know, we got an update on our last guest. Unfortunately, took Canadian travel, not Swiss travel, hence the delay. But at this time, I would like to now present our first musical interlude. Fenton Gumley-Titcombe and Reese Woodbridge will be performing Vienna by Billy Joel.
crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile, but then if you're so smart, tell me why are you still so afraid? Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? You better cool it off before you burn it out. You got so much to do and only so many hours in a day. But you know that when the truth is told, you can get what you want or you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. Ooh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? Slow down, you're doing fine. You can't be everything you want to be before your time. Although it's so romantic on the borderline tonight. Too bad, but it's a life you lead. You're so ahead of yourself that you forgot what you need. Though you can see when you're wrong, you can't always see when you're right. You're right. You got your passion, you got your pride, but don't you know that only fools are satisfied? Dream on, but don't imagine they'll all come true. Ooh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? Slow down, you crazy child. Take the phone off the hook and disappear for a while. It's alright, you can't afford to lose a day or two. Ooh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? When will you realize Vienna waits for you?
Wow, thank you, Fenton and Reese, for your wonderful piece. Now we will hear from our guest of honor, who is no stranger to NJC. But here to introduce her is our head of school, Andrew Keelaher.
Your Excellency, dear faculty and staff, graduates, and guests, I would like to introduce our guest of honor at today's 70th graduation ceremony, Ms. Franca Moss. Franca is a retired secondary school teacher and principal, community volunteer, and together with her husband, Arthur, present here today, a proud Neuchâtel Junior College alumni, parent and grandparent, and passionate NJC supporter. That's right, Franca and Art's granddaughter, Madeline Semple, was one of our top students this year as a member of the class of 2026. And their daughter, Angelique, is in attendance as well from the class of 1997. Franca attended Humberside Collegiate in Toronto, received her Bachelor of Arts from the University of Toronto, her Master of Education from Brock University, and then obtained her principal's qualifications through the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education at U of T. Franca spent 27 years as an educator at A.N. Meyer Secondary School in Niagara Falls. For 16 of those years, she was a teacher and department head, And after a 6-year stint as vice principal at Stanford Collegiate and E.L. Crossley, she returned to Meyer in 1990 to serve as the first female secondary school principal in the Niagara region. She remained principal at Meyer for 11 years. Next to her family, Franca's greatest pleasure was and is as a community volunteer. Her commendations are numerous, and some include board member of the Healthy Living Niagara Coalition, where she helped establish trails for active transportation networks throughout the region. She implemented food programs for the local Project Share Food Bank. She was the recipient of the Woman of the Year Award for community engagement in Niagara. She served on the board of directors of the Niagara Center for Youth Care that led to the creation of the Pathstone Mental Health Organization. And she served for 10 years as board member on the Canadian Advisory Committee in Toronto for Neuchâtel Junior College. I have known Franca for the entirety of my headship at NJC. I didn't understand that it was possible for a person to have so much passion. But Franca's love for our school is demonstrable, and she has been a great support to me over the years. Franca's connection to NJC and to the Niagara region intersected because at A.N. Meyer, she taught John McCall McBain, Canadian businessman and philanthropist and founder of the McCall McBain Foundation. In 2009, through her relationship with John, combined with her devotion to NJC, the McCall McBain Foundation established the Franca and Arthur Moss Scholarship to Neuchâtel Junior College. And since then, we have had 6 students join us from the Niagara region, with a 7th slated to arrive this fall. If not for Franca and Art, who have been stewards of the scholarship all the way through, including Franca sitting on the selection committee, this gift would not exist. And I am proud to announce today at our 70th graduation ceremony that as of just yesterday, the Franca and Arthur Moss Scholarship to Neuchâtel Junior College has been renewed for another 6 years in the amount of nearly $300,000. Ladies and gentlemen, to offer her address to the graduating class of 2026, please welcome our guest of honor at today's ceremony and my friend, Franca Moss.
Merci, Monsieur Kelleher. Mesdames et Messieurs, c'est vraiment un grand plaisir pour moi d'être ici aujourd'hui. Son Excellence Jean-Paul Lemieux, ambassadeur du Canada en Suisse et Liechtenstein. Invité d'honneur, directeur, Monsieur Kelleher et Mademoiselle Perceau. Professeur, famille d'accueil et parents et familles dévouées. Et bien sûr, vous les diplômés de 2026. Bonjour and good afternoon. Graduates, congratulations. Today, of course, we celebrate your milestone graduation from this wondrous immersive program. It's 70 years, as you heard, in the making, and you must have heard that all year. Now, what a whirlwind, magical year you've had. Just 10 months ago, you arrived at La Gare, understandably perhaps with a queasy sense of uncertainty and maybe even some degree of trepidation, right? As you stepped onto the train platform, you took the very first steps towards experiencing all that is Neuch. Fast forward, in less than 24 hours, you'll be departing the shores of Neuchâtel, maybe for the last time, certainly this year, but maybe not forever. Yes, with your suitcases, likely much heavier than when you first came, but for one exception, I guarantee that each of you will be carrying back home a most remarkable gift. No, not exactly what you might be guessing, not an iconic Swiss knife, nor a precision watch, not even boxes of Villar or Sprungli chocolates, but rather it's an invisible, weightless possession. This gift is what you rightly earned this year. It is the much valued legacy of Neuchâtel Junior College. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a legacy? Well, many of you, and many of us might view a legacy as an inheritance, money, real estate, or maybe other tangible objects. But I believe that the most treasured forms of legacy are actually invisible and intangible. Such, however, and you know this is the legacy of NJC, it is built on values, knowledge, respect, friendships, and all your wonderful memories. Now, from the moment you receive your Ontario Secondary School, of course, your diploma today, your NJC legacy will automatically become embedded in your DNA. This unique legacy will be forever yours, forever present, and forever a guiding beacon for all your decisions, whether they are personal or professional. Now, graduates, today, you exit this historic Le Temple du Bois. You are one of 5,500 alumni spread over 70 years since the school's founding. You have walked the same cobblestones of this old town. You have hiked and skied the peaks of the Alps, and you've lived en pension, adapting and adopting new linguistic and gastronomical traditions, all the while stepping outside, as Your Excellency said, your comfort zone and challenging your own limits. Now, in 1956, the visionary founder, Leonard Wilde, believed that to be truly a leader, one must travel the world. You've done this. By choosing NJC, you took the road least traveled. You took risks. And by doing so, you have transformed, probably in different ways, but the changes most notably in 3 areas. 1, personal and academic growth. 2, global awareness. And 3, your social capital. No. In tandem, you took extensive travel excursions. I can't believe it. But your academic curriculum has honed your problem-solving skills along with all those excursions. Have you not seen your critical thinking, your problem-solving skills, and your time management? You know, the Swiss trains. You have now acquired your new understandings of very rich cultures, intriguing traditions, plus deep and historic, sometimes dark and certainly unsettling, Dachau, Auschwitz, and the 2 World War memorials that you visited. Now, with a newfound circle and social network of friends, you explored countless vistas, initially within Switzerland, then you went to neighboring France, Germany, Belgium, and further still to Poland, Turkey, and of course the unforgettable 2-week spring trip to Italy and Greece. How wonderful. Now, graduates, you lived these experiences, not solely from textbook or Google knowledge, but you know you live them now in person. Admittedly, and we all know, it was not always smooth going. Nevertheless, it was les défis et les découvertes, the challenges and the discoveries that have heightened your self-confidence, your self-awareness, your resilience, and above all, your curiosity. Graduates, this September, not far from now, you will begin college or university. Please be assured and believe indeed that your NJC experiences will benefit you immensely. Orientation week alone will seem less chaotic, and navigating campus life simply a breeze. However, when life throws you a sticky wicket, and it will sometimes, think back to your NJC legacy. Remember it. It will give you strength to resolve challenges and to seek and to accept new opportunities. Let me give you a quote from one of our graduate scholarship winners. Sabrina Grady, NJC valedictorian 2020, and you know what that means. 2020. She said to us, and we've been keeping up and visiting and relating and commenting with all of our previous scholarship recipients. So she has already been through 6 years beyond NJC. She says that the NJC legacy is a toolkit that she wears on her back, traversing through life. Forever grateful for this transformative opportunity. A toolkit. Likewise, and thank you, Mr. Kelleher, that you mentioned, I too am personally grateful for the 35 years that my husband Art and I have been associated with this wonderful NJC community. First, as parents, when our daughter Angélique attended NJC, class of 97, and now currently grandparents of Madeline, and you call her Maddie, Madeline Sample. Graduates, to have experienced really all that is Noosh is certainly a gift that calls for gratefulness. A gift that calls for gratefulness as you acknowledge those who stood beside you and by you. Parents, dear parents, family members, and friends, both here today and back home. To the staff at the Toronto NJC office, especially a shout out to Dorit Tepperman, who came overseas with you from Pearson Airport, and she remained with all of you throughout the orientation week. To your Swiss pension host families, you have seen the honor today already. They have opened up their hearts and their doors to you. To your passionate teachers, and keeping it all together, Team Kelleher, Andrew and Larissa. And we know Larissa shout out to you as you're enjoying the graduation of your daughter, Ainsley. Please let us pause right now. I want to especially acknowledge Mr. Kelleher for his stellar leadership as the head of this school. And you know, to lead NJC is no ordinary task. I was principal, as you heard, of a school of 1,350 when I started, and around 1,250, 11 years later, and 83 staff members, but this does not nearly compare with the complexity of running this extraordinary school overseas. Mr. Keelaher has done for 8 years this leadership with wisdom, kindness, flexibility, and a unique sense of humor. Would you agree? Andrew, no wonder Roberta Stark, one of our class of 23, she called you the champion of students. We wish you, Andrew, and your family all the very best. You assume your new role as head of school of St. John's, Kilmarnock, SJK. It's near Guelph and back in Ontario. So glad to have you closer to our students in Ontario. Now, Andrew, with your esprit de Neuchâtel, SJC is really lucky to have you. Maintenant, la dernière chose. Diplômé, j'espère pour vous une bonne vie, pleine de belles mémoires de cette année incroyable. Vous avez le pouvoir, vous avez la capacité et vous avez le courage de combattre aucun problème. Restez toujours curieux. Le monde vous attend. Bonne chance. Félicitations. Yes, graduates, you have earned a remarkable legacy. Toujours nous. Merci.
Franca, thank you very much for your insightful message to our students. It is an honor for us to hear from such a dedicated member of the NJC community who's been instrumental in sending students here to the work of the Franca and Arthur Moss Scholarship. Please accept this small token of appreciation for helping us celebrate the class of 2026. At this time, I would now like to present our second musical interlude, Quinn Ridgway and Kieran Cunning, who will be performing When We Were Young by Adele.
Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home. You're like a dream come true. But if by chance you're here alone, can I have a moment before I go? 'Cause I've been by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You look like a movie, you sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last just like a song. I was so scared to face my fears. Nobody told me that you'd be here. And I swear you moved overseas. And that's what you said when you left me. You still look like a movie. You still sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old and made us so restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. When we were young, when we were young, when we were young, when we were young. It's hard to admit that everything just takes me back to when you were there, to when you were there. And a part of me keeps holding on, just in case it hasn't gone. I guess I still care. Do you still care? It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old and made us so restless. Oh, I'm so mad I'm getting old, it makes me reckless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song when we were young.
Good job. Thank you, Quinn and Kieran, for your moving performance. That was incredible. Now this brings us to the reason why we're all here today, the presentation of the Ontario Secondary School Diplomas for the graduates of the class of 2026. Depending on their status, the graduates will receive an envelope containing their diploma, their Ontario Scholar Certificate, their NJC International Diploma, and a French Immersion Certificate. I said the list of accolades was long. We're about to hear about them. 92% of our 37 OSSD recipients are also Ontario Scholars, meaning that they were able to achieve an average of 80% or more in 6 of their grade 12 courses. 40 of our students earned an NJC International Diploma. This diploma sets them apart as worldly students who have achieved academic success, challenged themselves in a new environment, discovered new cultures, integrated into their pension families, and developed transferable skills that will help them succeed in the future. Well done, graduates. Our staff marshals will now begin organizing our first group of graduates for the diploma presentations. Graduates will be called in alphabetical order, and as each graduate is called forward, their name will be read out along with their intended destination next fall. As they cross the stage to accept their diploma, they'll shake hands with Mr. Keelaher and Miss Moss and pose for a photograph. Mr. Keelaher, Miss Moss, please join us now for the presentations. And at this time, I'd like to invite our Deputy Head of School, Miss Vanessa Prasad, to present the graduates.
Maggie Arsenault, Memorial University of Newfoundland, Education and Arts. Gemma Chisana, University of Guelph, One Health. Jack Church, Sioux College, Aviation Technology. Tessa Coleman, University of Guelph, Science. Noah Cruikshank, Carleton University, Public Affairs and Policy Management. Kieran Cunning, University of Victoria, Engineering. Adam Cherney, Wilfrid Laurier University, Business Administration. Teodoro Del Sorbo, Western University, Management and Organizational Studies. Ulysse Demoulin, Concordia University, Commerce. Claire Devereaux, OCAD University, Environmental Design. Fraser Dunn, Western University, Mechanical Engineering. Kelly Feather, Queen's University, Life Sciences and Biochemistry. And watching from home, Devin Goldberg, Concordia University, Film Production. Vincent Gay, University of Montreal Polytechnique, Mechanical Engineering. Fenton Gumley Titcombe, Dalhousie University, Arts. Chase Hrummick, Southern Methodist University, Business. Also watching from home, Morgan Jeffers, Queen's University, Life Sciences and Biochemistry. Ben Kanyete, Queen's University, Arts. Zachary Kirk, University of Auckland, Science and Law. Julia Klein, McGill University, Arts and Science. Dane Lancaster, Wilfrid Laurier University, Business Administration. Isabel Lau, Western University, Management and Organizational Studies and Ivy AEO. Elisa Lushko, Western University, Mechanical Engineering. Al McCrae, Queen's University, Arts. Isabel McCormick, Health International Business School, Business Administration. Isabella McDonald, Western University, Media and Communication Studies. Zoe Mortimer, University of Guelph, Arts. Luke Murchison, University of Ottawa, Multidisciplinary Design. Olivia O'Neill, Western University, Media and Communication Studies. Fabian Parmar, St. Joseph's University Business. Lucy Pashby, McGill University, Arts. Taylor Posnikoff, Dalhousie University, Science. Georgia Priestman, Western University, Engineering. Lily Ramadori, Western University, Health Sciences. Sophie Richardson, Queen's University, Concurrent Education and Arts. Margaret Quinn Ridgway, Huron at Western University, Social Sciences and Ivy AEO. Clive Ross, University of British Columbia, Computer Science. Calvin Roy, Bishop's University, Arts. Yeah. Suki Salter, Western University, Social Sciences and Ivy AEO. And I'm going to ask Mr. Keeler and Ms. Ross to switch for this next one. Madeline Semple, University of British Columbia, Arts. Emily Shannon, Queen's University, Kinesiology. Sophia Simi, Dalhousie University, Science. Elena Skelly, University of British Columbia, Commerce. Emily Taylor, Traveling the World. Malcolm Thompson, Queen's University, Commerce. Lucy Turk, University of Ottawa, International Economics and Development. Max Van Marl, University of Edinburgh, International Relations. John Vasenas, Stevens Institute of Technology, Mathematics. Reese Woodbridge, University of Miami, Business Administration. Kishan Young, McGill University, Arts. Thank you very much, Mr. Keeler and Ms. Moss. Just waiting for Kishan. To all the new graduates of Neuchatel Junior College, I'd now ask you to rise. Just the graduates. As a symbol of your commencement, you may now move the tassel from the right side of your cap to the left side. Let's hear one more congratulations for our graduates.
Congratulations, graduates. And at this time, we have the pleasure of another musical performance, a song written by the artist himself, Teo del Sorbo. a song he refers to as the anthem of the class of 2026. Here's Teo with Why Oh Why.
Before I begin, I want to thank Kishan and my Calzone. I love you boys, and why wouldn't be what it is without you guys. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why, oh, why do you go so far? Prove you're right when you know you're wrong. I've been waiting for so damn long. I wanna know if you'll play along. 'Cause I know I can be a mess. 'Cause you look so damn good in that dress. I just wanna be with you. And I wanna know if you feel it too. See you in the moonlit sky. Got a cigarette burning and a bottle of wine. Damn girl, yeah, you are so damn fine. And I'll wait for the day to make you mine. I remember our first dance. My arms were around you with a hand on your chest. Heat of the moment was so intense. I knew that we can't be just friends. Baby, why are you so shy? You know I never ever wanna tell you a lie. Take my hand for tonight, and I promise that you'll be just fine. Why, oh, why do you go so far? Prove you're right when you know you're wrong. I've been waiting for so damn long. I wanna know if you'll play along. 'Cause I know I can be a mess. 'Cause you look so damn good in that dress. I just wanna be with you. And I wanna know if you feel it too. I've been so low, I feel so cold. You make me whole. Can you redeem my soul? Why, oh, why do you go so far? Prove you're right when you know you're wrong. I've been waiting for so damn long, and I wanna know if you'll play along. 'Cause I know I can be a mess, but you look so damn good in that dress. I just wanna be with you, and I wanna know if you feel it too. Ooh, I wanna know if you feel it too.
Thank you, Teo. Nailed it. We will now recognize the recipient of our academic prizes. These prizes are awarded to one student in each class who have demonstrated academic excellence and dedication to the subject. Nous allons maintenant présenter les prix académiques. Ces prix sont remis à un ou une élève de chaque cours qui démontre de l'excellence et de la motivation pour le sujet. This year's recipients will receive a gift card which they can use to purchase a book of their choosing. To begin, our first presenter returns to NJC today after retiring at the end of first semester, following 23 years of service to the school. To present the Visual Arts Award, please welcome Madame Christine Weibel. The academic prize for visual arts goes to Tessa Coleman. Thank you very much, Madame Weibel. Our next presenter is Miss Patricia Klebe, who will present the academic prizes for the humanities. The academic prize for philosophy. This year's winner is Clive Ross. The next academic prize is for world history. And this year's winner is Sophie Richardson. The award for Canadian and international politics goes to Quinn Ridgway. The winner of the academic prize for the writer's craft is Isabel McCormick. The prize for classic civilization goes to Emily Taylor. And on behalf of both Miss Jones and Ardo, who can't be here today, and Miss Klebe, the academic prize for English goes to Madeline Semple. I will now call upon Mr. John Marchione to present the awards for his subjects. Up first is the winner of the prize for World Issues, Luke Murchison. The student selected for the prize for Canadian and International Law is Isabel Lau. The recipient for the academic prize in international business this year is Malcolm Thompson. And the award recipient for economics is Malcolm Thompson. The prize for drama this year goes to Quinn Ridgway. And the prize for challenge and change goes to Sophie Richardson. Thank you, Mr. Marchione. Now, Mr. McCrell Krejci will present the prizes for his subjects. Maintenant, les gagnants des prix pour les cours de français. The prize for French communication and culture goes to Tessa Coleman. The winner of the award for French Core is Zoe Mortimer. The academic prize for French immersion goes to Emily Taylor. And finally, for Mr. Krejci, the academic prize for communications technology is presented to Reese Woodbridge. Thank you, Mr. Krejci. Our next presenter is Dr. Jennifer Robertson, who present the award for biology. The academic prize for biology goes to Tessa Coleman. Our next awards, thank you, Dr. Robinson. Our next awards are for the remaining science and mathematics classes, which I am proud to present to the recipients. The winner for the academic prize for advanced functions and the winner of the prize for calculus and vectors is Malcolm Thompson. The award for data management goes to Vincent Gay. The recipient for the academic prize for physics is Alisa Lashko. The academic prize for chemistry goes to Lily Ramadori. And my final course, the prize for recreation and healthy active living leadership goes to Kieran Cunning. And please, one last time, let's have another round of applause for our well-deserving group of academic prize recipients. We now turn to our school prizes. NJC students are involved in many activities at school. We recognize this dedication to the school beyond the requirements of the classroom through our school prizes. As the teacher of the Recreation and Healthy Active Living Leadership class, I'm honored to speak about our first award, the Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead Award. As the NJC class of 1975 approached their 50th anniversary, they looked for a way to honor their friendships, their class, and the spirit of their time at NJC. The Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead grant project is their legacy. The purpose of this program is to nurture the development of future leaders. Up to $10,000 is available annually for approved projects supported by the school to foster change, connection, and community. L'objectif de ce programme est de favoriser le développement des futurs leaders. Jusqu'aux $10 000 sont disponibles chaque année pour des projets approuvés et soutenus par l'école, afin de promouvoir le changement positif, la connexion et la communauté. And now, 50 plus years later, the class of 2026 is continuing to carry the spirit forward. This year's group who was awarded the grant had a vision to host a community fair where students, family, pensions, staff, and the broader Neuchâtel community would come together to share an afternoon full of games, competition, music, food, and fundraising. After tirelessly working on planning and setting up, the group put on a spectacular event in the beginning of May. Having worked closely with the group, I can attest confidently that this year's recipient of the Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead Award is entirely deserving. This year, the Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead Award goes to Reese Woodbridge. Well done, Reese. To present the FOIA Council Award, I will ask Mr. John Marchione, this year's FOIA Council Advisor, to come forward.
Okay, the FOIA Council has played a vital role at NJC this year, continuing a long-standing tradition at Neuchâtel Junior College. Their diligence in planning, organizing, and leading various events has played an integral part in building up our NJC school spirit. The indie travel boards, to the Nintendo tournaments, all the way to the barbecue that we hosted a month ago. The students at the FOIA Council have put an immense amount of work to design and build events that we have all enjoyed and looked forward to throughout the school year. Thank you all, the members of the FOIA Council, for their hard work. We are the better for it. Amongst an equally deserving group, I am delighted to announce that the recipient of the 2026 FOIA Council recognition is Elena Skelly.
To present the awards for athletics, I'll ask Mr. Karel Krejci to come up, please.
Right. Bonjour, hi, everybody. So, selecting just one female athlete of the year was no easy task. This student has demonstrated an exceptional commitment to physical activity throughout the year, consistently embracing every opportunity to stay active. Whether she was training at the gym for muscles, leading the running club, competing in races throughout the Neuchâtel region, or even heading out for a run during our trip to Greece and Italy while everyone else was having apéro. Her dedication to fitness and athletic excellence was impossible to miss. Her commitment was matched by her performances. She consistently delivered impressive results, regularly running at a pace of around 4:30 per kilometer, and capped off the year with an outstanding showing in the BCN Tour, completing 5 of the 6 races, even 6 if I'm not wrong. Through her discipline, perseverance, and passion for running, she has set a remarkable example for her peers. The Female Athlete of the Year award goes to Elle McRae. All right, now for the Male Athlete of the Year. The students seem to be involved in almost every athletic activity at NJC throughout the year. Whether it was basketball, ping pong, frisbee, hockey, or any other sport we offered, he was always willing to participate and represent the school. He played an important role on several teams and was always interested in attending as many tournaments as possible. No matter the sport, he brought a competitive spirit, a positive attitude, and a strong work ethic. He was also a key contributor during hockey games, whether he was playing with or against his French teacher. And unlike the Toronto Maple Leafs, he actually showed up on the ice when it mattered most. Beyond NJC, he has left a great impact with the HC Université team in Neuchâtel, where he spent a year reminding the Swiss why hockey is Canada's sport. His commitment to athletics, his willingness to get involved in every opportunity, and his positive impact on NJC sports made him an easy choice for this award. The 2026 Male Athlete of the Year goes to Jack Church.
Congratulations to our athletes. To present the Model United Nations Award, please welcome Miss Patricia Klebe, our MUN Staff Supervisor.
Model United Nations is a long-standing tradition at NJC. This year, we were privileged to send student delegates to conferences in Scotland and in the Netherlands. The outstanding delegate was fairly new to the MUN program, but with her razor-sharp debating chops and excellent organizational skills, she soon proved herself to be a natural-born diplomat, representing Burundi on the Human Rights Committee in Leiden and the Philippines on the UNDP in Edinburgh, for which she won Best Delegate. This year's Model United Nations Award goes to Elena Skelly. I'm now going to present the Yearbook Award. This year's Yearbook Award winner is a student who knows how to get things done. When he sees that someone needs help, he steps in to help. When he sees that something needs doing, he does it. And when he saw that additional pages need to be made for the yearbook, or some pages needed a touch of editing to be perfect, or that we needed to stay late to finish the work, he jumped right in and did that too.
All our yearbook students worked hard this year and delivered on their promises, but perhaps no one took more personal responsibility than this student. This year's award for the yearbook goes to Kieran Cunning. The Youth Wellbeing Ambassadors are charged with the duty of creating a climate of well-being and care amongst the student body. This year, the 4 students, Elle McRae, Izzy Lau, Mac Thompson, and Emily Shannon all did an amazing job of working cohesively to accomplish that. They organized events, baked cookies, challenged students to move, and had a great time doing it all together. It was not easy to choose one student who stood out in this group, but this YWA member went beyond the mandate of the group, hugging students who needed a lift, listening to peers who needed an ear, and encouraging people to open up about their struggles. I'm confident that his peers will join me in congratulating this year's winner of the Youth Wellbeing Ambassador Award, Malcolm Thompson.
Okay. At this time, we'd like to present another musical interlude. Please welcome Claire Devereaux and Vincent Mastrangeli, who will be performing Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? And can I sail through the changing ocean's tide? Can I handle the seasons of my life? My life, my life. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. Oh, but time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older still. Yes, I'm getting older still. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. Oh, but time makes you bolder, and even children get older, and I'm getting older still. Yes, I'm getting older still. Oh, take my love, take it down. Oh, climb a mountain and turn around. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, know a landslide brought me down. Oh, the landslide brought me down.
Your Excellency, faculty, staff, graduates, guests, and live stream viewers, I would like to introduce Andrew J. Keelaher, who has been the head of school at Neuchatel Junior College since 2018. To give you a sense of who Andrew is, his prevailing message when organizing this graduation was, "It's not about me, it's about the students." But I'm going to make it about him for the next few minutes and highlight some of his accomplishments during his headship at NJC. Early on in his headship, Andrew took it upon himself to understand the ins and outs of advancement at NJC. As a result, NJC has raised $2.4 million for the Neuchatel Junior College Fund from 543 donors during his tenure. Andrew personalizes his advancement efforts, calling donors and staying accountable with NJC impact reports. Andrew has also worked with the NJC community to introduce a number of awards and scholarships. The Class of 2020 award began under his leadership, recognizing resilience in students since the pandemic. He also worked closely with the alumni of the class of 1975 to establish the Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead project, providing $10,000 to students each year to lead a creative initiative at NJC. His time as a leader also saw the introduction of the Dr. Daniel Andre Scholarship for Community Engagement, rewarding students who have dedicated their time to their community with NJC tuition funds. As we heard earlier, Andrew helped successfully renew the Frank and Arthur Moss Scholarship and the John Murray Scholarship. Andrew launched the first ever class gift for the class of 2019 and has successfully continued with his class giving efforts. Over the years, the gift has provided travel bursaries, instruments, and equipment to incoming classes. I won't give too much away, but his efforts have culminated in a record-breaking year for the class of 2026 gift. Andrew also understands the importance of the alumni community to Neuchâtel and launched numerous engagement opportunities, including the NJC Community Awards, the Always Neuch Alumni Event, the Gratitude Report, the Leonard Wild Society Donor Wall in the Foyer Building, and the 1956 Society, recognizing our planned giving sponsors. Andrew is a strong supporter of the NJC Pension program. He understands the immense value added that the Pension families bring to the students' experience and works to maintain a high standard in that program. Andrew goes into the Pension homes and sits down with them because he genuinely cares about these connections. We all know that NJC is a family affair, with alumni sending their kids and grandkids here year after year. But this year, we saw an incredible 16 students join whose siblings previously attended during Andrew's time as head of school. This speaks to the confidence that these parents have in his leadership of the school. This year, students said their goodbye to Andrew at our assembly yesterday. And when asked to say a word that describes how Andrew made them feel during their time here, they chose words like safe, seen, cared for, and proud. Andrew understands that these are what students need to feel in order to thrive. The staff and faculty have also benefited from Andrew's leadership at NJC. While he has seen many teachers come and go over the years, we had no teacher turnover going into Andrew's final year at NJC. He has developed an environment where teachers want to stay. On a personal note, Andrew has mentored me for the past 5 years, encouraging my growth into leadership. He has shown us all what it takes to run a school that strives for academic excellence, encourages personal development, and makes you feel like we're all part of something big. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to call upon Andrew Keelaher, head of school of Neuchâtel Junior College, to address the graduating class of 2026.
Thank you, Mrs. Prasad. That was touching, was sweet. Yesterday was touching and sweet. But, as she said, this is not about me. It is about the class of 2026. Therefore, good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Your Excellency, membres du Conseil de Fondation et du Comité canadien, Ms. Franca Moss, and other guests, faculty and staff, family and friends, les familles d'accueil, NJC alumni, and graduates. Today we gather to honor a very special group, to applaud a cohort who last September arrived in Grindelwald and survived a gale of rain, wind, snow, hail, and cold to conquer the Kleine Scheiding together. It was at that precise moment in time that I knew, baby, this was the class for me. We are here to say farewell to a daring, battle-tested, intelligent, and involved graduating class, the 70th graduating class of Neuchâtel Junior College, the class of 2026. I'll begin by acknowledging the class gift. The class of 26 identified priorities for giving back: tuition, scholarships, a student-led travel bursary to Zermatt, and owing to the talents, the musical talents of the graduating class this year, a music room in the foyer building to come. Thank you to Committee Chair Trish Del Sorbo for her work on the campaign. And for being the driving force behind these beautifully retro NJC varsity jackets. The grad class gift, as Ms. Prasad indicated, was initiated in 2019. And I'm pleased to announce that due to the generosity of parents, grandparents, students, staff, and faculty, the class of 2026 has set 2 new records for grad class giving with a participation rate of 90% and a grand total raised of $126,808. Yes, sir. J'aimerais m'adresser maintenant à nos familles d'accueil. Notre école continue à honorer la vision de notre fondateur, M. Leonard Wild, qui consiste à offrir aux étudiants une année en Europe pour étudier et aussi la possibilité de vivre avec une famille suisse pour comprendre la culture et s'exercer à parler en français. Cette relation est primordiale pour enrichir l'expérience des élèves. Je voudrais donc remercier toutes les familles d'accueil qui traitent nos étudiants comme les leurs, les prenant en charge en s'en occupant si bien pendant leur séjour. Merci beaucoup, famille d'accueil. Class of 2026. Today is an exciting day, people. You are the graduates of NJC's 70th class, a milestone in our history. And you are the main event. But I must admit, today brings me face to face with an inevitability that I've had a hard time coming to grips with, as we've heard lately a lot, and that is that I too, along with you, am leaving NJC. I'm often asked how I feel about it, and the truth is, I'm struck with so many emotions. It's hard to tell which one dominates. Melancholy, sadness, happiness, excitement, joy, gratitude, grief. But each time I come back around, the answer is entirely clear to me. The one emotion that I am feeling today that easily rises to the top is love. So, class of 2026, please take what I am about to say as a love letter from me to you on behalf of 70 years of Neuchâtel Junior College and on behalf of a grateful head of school. To Q. Elizabeth Barrett Browning, class of 2026, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. Starting with Mac Thompson. Mac excelled in all facets at NJC. His sister and father came here before him, but Mac carved out a path all his own. He's an excellent listener, and he has empathy for others. He's a good friend and student, son, grandson, and brother. What I love about Mac is that he never takes himself too seriously. He can joke around hosting Jeopardy, yet he is as driven in the classroom as he is on the diamond trying to leg out a triple. Composed, a leader, respected by his classmates, Mac is the perfect choice to be our valedictorian. From Mac to Max Van Marl. They kept getting taller on me this year. Max came to us from the Netherlands, and he was hard to pin down at times, but he would occasionally surprise us with a rendition of Moonlight Sonata on the piano, and we knew he was around. Morgan Jeffers and Kelly Feather were roommates who benefited from one another's kindness, and only Kelly could take an indie trip to Nice to exercise the parasympathetic nervous system, so she says. When Ulysses and Kelly said farewell to Morgan when she left us at the end of the semester, it was both joyful and tearful. And for Ulysses, it revealed a hidden talent. He's a fine public speaker. It's just too bad that was the last time we saw him in assembly for the rest of the year. Emily Taylor is a student who ruled the roost in the trivia contest at the NJC 70th anniversary banquet last month. When she wasn't test driving another roller coaster somewhere in Europe, she was motivated to swim in the Roman ruins in Sorrento. When Fraser Dunn's asleep, he dreams about equations. He's got a mind for math, but occasionally he takes on other tasks, like when pressed into duty assembling a balloon arch for the prom. Man of many talents, Fraser. Lucy Pashby. She excelled in her courses. When not studying, she could be found styling and profiling at school, in the drama production, and in her star turn as Dwight Schrute. Unlike Dwight, she is vibrant, sophisticated, unstoppable. To love is to trust. And in life, we need dependable advisors. You have to trust yourself to let the right people into your circle, and it's not always easy because, trust me when I say this, everybody has an opinion about what you should do. When it's all said and done, though, it doesn't matter what the others would do, what your parents would do, what your colleague would do, or what your best friend would do. What matters is what you would do. Instinct, intuition, and judgment are as important as strategy, data, and metrics. All of it plays into whom you trust to help you make those tough decisions. Trusting Gus to get us to Amalfi on time was a bad decision by me. Fortunately, there are plenty of trustworthy individuals in the class of 2026, replete with integrity and character. The indomitable Kieran Cunning from North Vancouver was an inspiring leader, a frequent traveler, a piano player who involved himself in school life in every single conceivable way. He was trusted on the Foyer Council, on the Dare to Dream and yearbook committees, and in organizing that trip to Europa Park. We almost lost him to heat exhaustion when he took on a 16-kilometer run with no prep. But that's Kieran. Damn the torpedoes and headlong into the next challenge. But he is a thoughtful, kind, and soulful young man. Lily Ramadori is strong in character and just plain strong, too. She is fit, smart, and she has her moral compass pointed in the right direction. Plus, as we saw in Zermatt, she exercises her mind playing board games with her raucous family. Lucy Turk, cool, calm, and collected. She wrote that not everything goes the way you plan, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about the outcome, but you can try to change your emotions about it. Lucy's grandmother is Nancy Post, and Nancy is a member of the class of 1958, our second year of existence. Who can we trust to ask a question at an assembly? Calvin Roy, honest, lovable, and kind-hearted. Calvin could often be found practicing his French with whole new twists on bonjour and comment allez-vous. We trust Elena Skelly to get the ball rolling. She is everything, everywhere, all at once. She organizes a playlist as easily as a trip to the Milan Olympics. To invoke her family's background, she's tough as nails. And when she wants things to happen for her and her friends, they will happen. I can trust her to the job. I can trust Elena to do the job because she is the industry standard in this regard. If I had to put my life and trust in the hands of just one person this year, without equivocation, it would be Fenton Gumley Titcomb. He is genuine, seizes the moment, and was the creator of the greatest promposal I have ever seen. He is a friend to all, and he can be trusted to do the right thing. Ben's roommates are Ben Cagneve and Teo Del Sorbo. Ben loves to travel, especially when he plays basketball. Ben pointed out to me that we need to tighten up our Indy travel parameters to make sure students actually end up where they say they're going. I've known Teo for years, but my first encounter with him this year was when he headlined a rock concert with a huge crowd, complete with female backup singers. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Only problem was, it was 1:30 in the morning on the second night of the orientation trip, and I was sleeping next door. I came back to my room with the guitar. I came back to my room with a couple of bottles. But Teo loves NJC. And like Ben and Fen, he comes from a family that does too. These boys trust each other, and a loving friendship has evolved. Vincent Gay is polite and well-mannered. He stayed with us one night a little while ago. The next morning, the bed was made with military precision. Vincent would not have it any other way. He plucks the guitar in between classes, in tune with life. Another musician is the big Kiwi Zachary Kirk from Auckland, New Zealand. He's Canadian too, a citizen of the world. Zach played acoustic every day, and when a bright red Fender electric guitar arrived, affectionately known as the Eagle, I think it's safe to say that it received the Kirk seal of approval. Quinn Ridgway and Julia Klein, the Swisters, women of character. They love their pension, Jean-Claude and Monique, who are leaving us after 10 years of hosting students. The mighty Quinn is sharp, focused, and kind. Oddly, she hates fruit. You know, she might turn her nose up at a cantaloupe, but she loves the people she met this year, and she felt that the relationships were the true gift of the whole experience. And Julia, whose limit does not exist, is fearless on a horse as she is on Jean-Claude's scooter when she zipped over to the stables to go for a ride. In Shakespeare's famous sonnet, he says love is constant and unchanging, that it withstands the tests of time, and that it looks on tempests and is never shaken. So I go back to that hike on the Kleine Scheide, that storm we faced. None of you flinched. It was like you all realized at the same time that you were in this NJC thing together, come hell or high water, and that's the way it was going to be. After all, it's the storm that makes a great captain. And we've withstood a few little storms this year. Noah Cruikshank lost his wallet on the plane to Athens. On that same trip, he made a 5-phase plea to have his contraband returned. He was asleep on the balcony to help rest his back. Through it all, Noah displayed his intellect in areas like the Model UN, and he volunteered his time with Dare to Dream. Maggie Arsenault from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Maggie is a proud maritimer, but she's not wild about boats. And she's choosing a bold way to deal with that dilemma. This summer, she's moving to Newfoundland with her family. I love what Georgia Priestman said about adapting to her surroundings. She observed the habits and rules of other countries and tried not to go against the established order of things. For example, she has stopped screaming on Swiss trains upon noticing it's more polite to be quiet. Madeline Semple and John Vessines diffused a low-key kidnapping attempt by a Turkish cab driver. Between the two of them, they wrote, read, and talked their way out of it, I'm sure. Maddie is a gifted writer, pensive sage, and versatile actress. John brought us the American perspective and was good at making classmates expand their thinking. Plus, he looks great in drag, doesn't he? Kishan Young faced many storms or issues. Let's call them kissues. One that comes to mind is running away from the train conductor because he didn't have the right ticket. Alas, he was finally apprehended, and I'm not sure Kishan's response was a loving one. But Kishan and the class of 2026 are not the only ones to endure their share of kissues. Any good head of school is expected to suffer his share of indignities as well. Here are a few that the class of 26 have asked of me. Mr. Keelaher, would you mind going in the dunk tank? Are you okay getting pied in the face? Now that you turned 50, are you a little more gray, sir? But perhaps my most loathed was, how do you feel about growing your mustache for a month? It was a facial fiasco that you turned into a Christmas tree ornament, a stuffed banana toy, other memes and trolls. Meanwhile, it flaked, it itched, it irritated. But all these months later, here today, upon further reflection, and to demonstrate to you how much I've changed, the stash wasn't all that bad, people. Now, I'm not sure if love comes to mind, but it's a pretty good souvenir. And speaking of souvenirs, there are a few more I will hold on to from the class of 2026. Like Luke Murchison's ice pick. Were we really surprised when he invited us to climb Mount Olympus, take blacksmithing lessons, and go to the Ukraine for indie travel? The other thing about Luke is that he is the best of the Good Samaritans. Luke's friends are Clive Ross and Isabel McCormick. And the three of them invited me to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons, something I haven't done for 40 years, for my birthday. It was glorious. Carlisle, Tiriano, and Priest ruled the day with an assist from Cheese Grater. Isabel, if you do open that school, let me know if you need a headmaster. And Dungeon Master Clive, he's a gentle spirit who with his cape is Superman, because he ran the gamut of AP exams and came out clean on the other side. Elisa Lushko is colorful and brilliant, with a personality that matches her sense of style and maturity. In Budapest, she picked up a souvenir, an old camera, looks like a relic from the Cold War. In a sense, though, secondhand items are like two stories in one. Elle McRae. She screeched her way through the great mouse invasion of the study center, leading to several noise complaints from the neighbors. Elle's souvenirs include a few scrapes and bruises from the rugged terrain of her running routes. But the scrapes don't hurt as much when you have an angel watching over you from above. Dane Lancaster carried on the family tradition of swordsmanship with his souvenir in Normandy. I could always count on Dane for a good ussy and a frank analysis of what he thought on a given topic. And Dane's ability to not suffer fools lightly is one that he should keep. Love exists in the friendships you made this year. Be all in when it comes to your relationships. True friends will see this as an asset, a strength of yours. Think of Achilles, who had a notorious vulnerability, an imperfection that earned him a place in the pantheon of heroes and legendary status for eternity. So show your soft side. Be vulnerable and love one another. Like Izzy Lau, Sophie Richardson, and Sophia Simi. They locked into their friendship with matching pajamas and completed that 16-kilometer final leg of the BCN Tour together. It was a moment when Izzy found out about Ivy at dinner in Sorrento, and her friends were right there to congratulate her. Sophie Richardson from St. Mary's is a gifted skater. She was on the Olympics trip with me. It was there that I learned about her unhealthy obsession with jellycats. But we all have our quirks, Sophie, so it's all right. Sophia Simi from Edmonton. It was nice to see her let her hair down after a self-imposed exile in the library in the first semester. Adam Chorney, Tessa Coleman, and Claire Devereaux. Adam, proud of his Polish heritage, was the electron of this triad, buzzing around everywhere and generating electricity. His prom date was Tessa, who wrote a love story about a friendship between a big bear and a little rabbit. It seemed autobiographical to me. And when not trying to rescue a bird, Claire sings like one in the lounge while strumming away, but she's anything but quiet. Claire just puts herself out there all the time. And I think it's just the greatest thing. Emily Shannon, Bella McDonald, and Suki Salter. Emily would open the school in the morning and close it at night. She approached her coursework with the routine and discipline of a synchronized swimmer. Bella celebrated her birthday in Athens by dancing with some Greek sultans on top of an upside-down beer stein. And quoting the late Anthony Bourdain, Suki urged us to get off the couch and move because, as we learned from a certain album this year, everyone's just so punk on the internet. And as Canadians, we know a lot about the Great Wide Open. Over these 70 years, NJC has remained true to its values, a Canadian school in the historic city of Neuchâtel that prepares students for university and for life. I couldn't be prouder to be the head of school here. When you cheered on Team Canada in town a few weeks ago, I said to myself, these are my students. And at the Olympics, we celebrated and hailed those Canadian athletes because we are fortunate to come from a country that allows us to be wild and free. Gemma Chisana is a proud Ontarian. At the Olympics, she stood next to Courtney Sereau from Moncton, New Brunswick, who had just captured the bronze medal in short track speed skating. Chase Romick from West Vancouver was decked out to the nines with his Olympic swag. He didn't take his eyes off the ice during those hockey games. Fabian Parmar, now in Toronto. What an addition to the class of 2026. He's a hockey fan who loves to golf. Can you get much more Canadian than that? Zoe Mortimer from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. This prairie girl can sing. Like her namesake Mortimer in the Robert Munch story, she wants to take it all in, see things, go places, and sleep later. Jack Church loved the trip to Normandy. He saw its inherent value as a young French-speaking, hockey-playing Canadian with a deep appreciation for our military. And perhaps no other quartet best represents our Canadian landscape than roommates Reese Woodbridge of Oakville, Olivia O'Neill of Ottawa, Taylor Posnikoff of Vancouver, and Devin Goldberg of Montreal. Reese led us all the way with Dare to Dream, produced an amazing community event that had people singing, dancing, eating, and vibing. What a leader. When I met Olivia, she taught me the catchy mnemonic, Olivia O'Neill from Ottawa. But after day one, we didn't need any mnemonic to remember Olivia. What a presence. Taylor was covered in confetti at Fête des Vendanges and chocolate on the train to Milan and loved every minute of it, I think. But she quoted one of my favorite Dr. Seuss lines, apt for today, of course. Don't cry because it's over, people. Smile because it happened. Devin had to leave us a tad early, but she's impossible to forget. Devin's not invited to the party. She is the party. Class of 26. If I could take a moment to say thank you to two groups, parents and grandparents as well. I know today's a special day for you too. I'm glad that you're here to celebrate it, but I'm also extremely gratified and honored that you sent your children to NJC this year. Kim Hyung-suk is a 106-year-old Korean author, and he came out with a new book this year in 2026 called A Theory of Happiness. And in the book, he says, we must give those we love an environment conducive to the development of their character and the cultivation of their humanity. Parents, you have done that for your children. And I know they're grateful for the opportunity that you have provided for them. Some of you are alumni, and I hope that the class of 26 enjoyed their time here as much as you did. And to the faculty and staff, I offer you my heartfelt appreciation and respect. You love these students too. Each year, we have members of the staff and faculty leave us also. So joining me in saying goodbye to NJC are the aforementioned Joan DiNardo, Sarah Bruce, Jennifer Robertson, Dan Lamoth, Larissa Keelaher, Diego Corti, and Christine Bible. Diego and Christine are retiring from NJC after more than 40 years of combined service. Class of 26. Larissa and I saw Andrea Bocelli in Paris this year. We now arrive at his most famous song, Because It's Time to Say Goodbye. You have polished the legacy of Neuchâtel Junior College and primed us for another 70 years of tradition. We have dedicated teachers and staff, helpful board members, supportive parents and alumni, caring pension families, close relationships with the city of Neuchâtel, and above all else, an engaged student body. Now, it's over to the next ones to carry the torch. Although leaving NJC is ending a chapter of my life, I'd rather think of the love than the void. After all, it's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. Our next head of school is Mr. Philippe Caron-Audet, and he is who we need right now. He is thoughtful, caring, involved, and excellent with students. I have the utmost faith in his leadership. And Philippe, on behalf of the 5 heads of school still with us, I wish you only success, a great faculty and staff like I had, and the best students on planet Earth. I've heard many of you say that it's the best year of your life. That's flattering. Thank you. I will allow you to say it if you promise me to add 2 words to the end of it, that it's the best year of your life so far, because the world has more in store for you. And when they ask you how you got so curious, how you became so prepared, how you got so independent and worldly, and how you do so well with change, tell them it's because you went to NJC. And when they ask you, how are you going to top it? Look them in the eye and say, just watch me. Class of 2026. I hope we have the chance to meet again. Until then, as Warren Zevon says, keep me in your heart for a while, because you can bet that I will keep you in mind. I look forward to following your careers with great interest. I wish you a long and happy life, a fulfilling one, with blessings of all kinds. You have given us a love story for the ages this year. Thank you for everything. You are beautiful human beings, and you are loved. Félicitations and congratulations to the class of 2026.
Thank you, Andrew, for that wonderful address. It is now time to acknowledge a few more remarkable students from the class of 26 with the presentation of our special awards. I would like to call up Mr. Krejci to help me present the class of 2020 award.
Le prix 2020 est présenté aux 3 étudiants, aux étudiantes qui démontrent une grande capacité de résilience, de camaraderie et d'optimisme. Les gagnantes font preuve de force et de créativité face à l'adversité, se préoccupent de leur entourage et dégagent de l'espoir.
The Class of 2020 award is presented to 3 students chosen by their peers who demonstrate ongoing resilience, camaraderie, and optimism. The recipients will have responded with strength, creativity to adversity, exhibited genuine care about others around them, and maintained a hopeful attitude with bonus points for maintaining a sense of humor. This year's recipients will have their names placed on a plaque displayed in the pavilion. The first winner of the Class of 2020 award is Claire Devereaux. The next winner of the Class of 2020 award is Taylor Poznikoff. And the final recipient of the award is Reese Woodbridge. Ladies and gentlemen, the Class of 2020 award recipients. I would now like to invite Madame Sandra Gaucha, NJC's business manager, and Monsieur Karel Krejci to present the François Dupaquier Award.
Madame Françoise Dupaquier, née Molaire, a reçu chez elle des étudiants du Junior College de 1956 à 1979. Elle est décédée à 97 ans le 27 juillet 2009. Madame Dupaquier était convaincue que son devoir, en tant qu'hôtesse, était de s'assurer que ses pensionnaires apprennent à parler couramment le français. En 2011, ses anciennes pensionnaires ont instauré ce prix en son honneur. Il est attribué chaque année à un étudiant ou à une étudiante extrêmement motivé à apprendre le français et qui s'améliore de manière remarquable.
Miss Françoise Dupaquier Award. Miss Françoise hosted Neuchâtel Junior College students in her home from 1956 until 1979. She passed away aged 97 on July 27, 2009. Madame Dupaquier believed it was her responsibility to ensure that all her guests learned to speak French. In 2011, the students who were hosted by her established this award in her honor. It is presented annually to the graduating student who strives to learn the French language and makes great progress during their time at NJC.
The winner of the François Dupaquier Award is Kieran Cunning. It's now time to recognize some special academic achievement. I would like now to call back to the stage Ms. Vanessa Prasad to present the Governor General's Award Academic Medal. Established in 1873, the Governor General's Academic Medal recognizes the graduating student at each school who achieved the highest average over the course of their grade 11 and grade 12 school years in Canada. On behalf of the Office of the Governor General, Her Excellency Louise Arbour, newly installed, it gives me great pleasure to present this award to Malcolm Thompson. I would now like to call upon Mr. Keelaher to present the Principal's Academic Award. The Principal's Academic Award is presented to the student who has attained the highest academic standing in their year at NJC. We've had so many academically accomplished students this year here. But at the top, the Principal's Academic Award goes to Malcolm Thompson. Congratulations, Mac. Our next award is the Marcel Jeanneret Award. Monsieur Marcel Jeanneret was the president of the Swiss Conseil de Fondation of Neuchâtel Junior College for 20 years. He volunteered countless hours in support of NJC, ensuring an authentic Swiss and international student experience and establishing strong Canadian-Swiss relations. We're honored to have Monsieur Jeanneret's son, Monsieur Pierre Jeanneret, join us at this year's ceremony. I'd ask him to come forward now to present the award in his father's honor. Joining him is our current Conseil de Fondation President, Bryn McCrossan-Mayer.
Donc le prix Jeanneret est en l'honneur de Marcel Jeanneret, mon papa qui a pendant 20 ans était président du conseil de fondation de 1996 à 2005. Et en tant que président du conseil de fondation du Junior College, mon papa a offert bénévolement d'innombrables heures et de services au Neuchâtel Junior College, veillant à garantir une expérience authentique à la fois suisse et internationale pour les élèves et renforcer les relations entre le Canada et la Suisse. À une époque de croissance importante et de construction de nos environs immédiats de l'école, près de la gare, il a soutenu les efforts visant à protéger les bâtiments scolaires contre l'empiètement du développement immobilier et a contribué à coordonner la construction du centre d'études du campus. Je me rappelle cette période, c'était assez rock'n'roll aussi vis-à-vis des autorités, des fois de la ville et des promoteurs. Il a assisté à une multitude de réunions du conseil, de réunions des comités, d'événements scolaires. Il a toujours accueilli les nouveaux élèves et leurs familles à Neuchâtel avec grâce, chaleur et enthousiasme. Aussi fier qu'il fut de la Suisse, mon papa aimait profondément le Canada et ses vastes espaces. Ayant voyagé dans presque toutes les provinces canadiennes, il était un véritable ambassadeur des deux pays. Et en tant qu'ancien directeur de l'école de commerce, il était un éducateur passionné qui a marqué la vie de nombreux élèves et considérait à juste titre que son établissement était le berceau du NJC. Le Junior College était alors une section de l'école de commerce jusqu'aux années 1960, avant de s'installer à son emplacement actuel. Marcel Jeanneret croyait fermement au développement du programme d'aide financière afin de permettre à davantage d'élèves qui n'en avaient pas les moyens de fréquenter l'école. And now for our friends in English. So at the time of significant growth and construction in the immediate vicinity of the school, Marcel Jeanneret supported the effort to safeguard the school buildings from development encroachment and helped coordinate the construction of the campus study center. He attended a multitude of board meetings, committee meetings, and school functions. He was always ready to welcome new students and their families into Neuchâtel with grace, warmth, and enthusiasm. As proud as Mr. Janre, so my father was from Switzerland, and he loved Canada as well and all of its beautiful spaces and landscape. Having traveled to nearly every Canadian province, he was a true ambassador of both countries. As a former director of the l'École de Commerce, he was a passionate educator impacting the lives of so many students, and he rightly considered his school as the birthplace of the NJC. The junior college was as a section of the École de Commerce until the 1960s, before moving to its current location. Mr. Janre was a great believer in building the financial assistance program to allow more students to attend the school who would not otherwise could afford it.
This year, the two recipients of the Marcel Jeanneret Award are Fenton Gumley-Titcombe and Olivia O'Neill. I will now call upon our head of school, Mr. Andrew Keelaher, to present the Leonard Wild Award. Selected by classmates, faculty, and staff, the Leonard Wild Award is NJC's highest honor. It's presented to the member of the graduating class who best embodies and reflects the values and spirit of Neuchâtel Junior College, and who reflects the academic and international objectives set down by the school's founder, Leonard T. Wild. This year's Leonard Wild recipient came to Neuchâtel knowing he wanted to do it all. He set a goal to get involved and step outside as much as possible, and he did. This student was consistently the first to volunteer his time and energy and the last one to leave an event, ensuring that he had done as much as possible to help. He was an integral member of the Foyer Council, making sure that the student body was engaged and included in school events. He was a leader in the Dare to Dream, Dare to Lead project, spending countless hours on the planning of the final event to ensure its success. He volunteered for the yearbook committee and participated in SGIS sports tournaments and outdid himself in the BCN Tour. He even played ultimate frisbee with locals and was a volunteer soccer coach for his pension. This student stepped outside the school-led events, organizing his own trips to trampoline and amusement parks, inviting anyone who was eager to join. This student also balanced a heavy academic load with STEM classes that required dedication to his studies. He also held himself to a high academic standard, and his achievement in his courses speaks to that. He hiked, explored, and embraced all that Switzerland had to offer. In essence, the Leonard Wild Award acknowledges the student who best reflects the spirit of Neuchâtel Junior College, as exemplified in the NJC International Diploma. And there is no doubt that this student lived up to and exceeded the criteria of this award. This year's recipient is Kieran Cunning. Can we please have another round of applause for all of our special award recipients? And now we have our final musical performers today. We would invite Zoe Mortimer and Zachary Kirk, who will be performing Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis.
slip inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to play? You said that you've never been. All the things that you've seen slowly fade away. So I start a revolution from my bed. You said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, summertime's in bloom. Stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face, 'cause you ain't ever gonna burn my heart out. So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as she's walking on by. Her soul slides away, but don't look back in anger. I heard you say. Take me to the place where you go, where nobody knows if it's night or day. And please don't put your life in the hands of a rock and roll band who'll throw it all away. So I start a revolution from my bed. 'Cause you said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, summertime's in bloom. Stand up inside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face, 'cause you ain't ever gonna burn my heart out. So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as she's walking on by. Her soul slides away, but don't look back in anger. I heard you say. So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as she's walking on by. Her soul slides away, but don't look back in anger. I heard you say. So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as she's walking on by. Her soul slides away, but don't look back in anger. Don't look back in anger. I heard you say. At least not today.
Thank you, Zoe and Zachary. Here to introduce the class of 2026 valedictorian is our head of school, Andrew Keeler.
Last time on a mic officially. And it now gives me great pleasure to introduce our class valedictorian, a young man who exemplifies the NJC experience. A year ago, like so many of you, he was a bit nervous about coming to Neuchâtel and signed up for just one semester. When he arrived, it was evident from the beginning that he was fully committed to life at NJC, and that semester easily turned into 2. He thrived in his coursework, dedicated to his studies on the weekends, in between basketball games at the tournament, on trains and planes. He is our top academic student, and he's on his way to Queen's University to pursue a Bachelor of Commerce degree. The valedictorian is selected by fellow students, faculty, and staff as someone who best represents the ideals of the graduating class. In addition to being selected, the valedictorian receives the Valedictorian Award, and his name is affixed on a plaque that decorates the foyer building of NJC. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2026 valedictorian of Neuchâtel Junior College from Port Credit, Ontario, Malcolm Thompson.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, educators, administrators, parents. Hey, Mom. Conscience, guests, and the beloved class of 2026, the 70th graduating class of Neuchâtel Junior College. I'm deeply honored to be given this opportunity by my fellow classmates to represent our graduating class. No two of our journeys here looked exactly the same. Some of us came to Switzerland looking for a fresh start. Some of us came looking for adventure. And some of us, let's be honest, were definitely interested in taking advantage of Switzerland's drinking age. But despite our different reasons for arriving, there's one thing that we all share today, and that is gratitude. So I want to start by thanking our parents. It is no small commitment to travel halfway across the world for our graduation ceremony. Without your emotional and financial support, none of us would be here today. You gave us the independence we needed to grow, but still answered our calls no matter how early in the morning. Thank you to our teachers and faculty. We can all agree that one of the things that makes NJC so special is that the relationships with our teachers extend far beyond the classroom. Your unwavering support throughout chaotic school trips, tests, and exam week is deeply appreciated. Sorry about all the student manhunts after curfew, and please forget those conversations about all the things we totally did not do this year. And thank you to our pension families for not only being here today, but for also welcoming us into your homes and lives. I know trying to hold a conversation in French with us was not always easy. I mean, not for me, of course. Mon français est complètement parfait. Mais heureusement, nous avons tous eu de familles de pension patientes pour nous aider à surmonter nos défis en français. L'expérience au Junior College ne serait pas la même sans la famille suisse qui nous ont ouvert la maison cette année. La gentillesse et la générosité que vous nous avez montrées ne seront jamais oubliées. Nous sommes désolés d'avoir massacré votre langue et d'avoir mangé toute votre nourriture. Merci pour une année incroyable. And to our beloved Mr. Keelaher. It is rare to find an educator who's so deeply connected with his students. You have forever cemented yourself as the most linguistically extravagant head of school in NJC history. We will miss your speeches, your energy, and even your singing on the treadmill too. You are indeed the captain of the Nightingale. NJC is lucky to have you in their history, and we are lucky to have you as part of ours. And finally, thank you to my mom, dad, sister, and grandma for sharing this moment with me. I would not be standing here without your support. Through all the ups, downs, tears, and achievement, I would not be who I am without you. But as much as I've been shaped by your influence, no amount of preparation could have made me ready for the journey that is Neuchâtel Junior College. A journey that started 10 months ago when we were strangers to one another and perhaps even to ourselves. For many of us, NJC meant stepping into something completely unfamiliar. On orientation, we were dropped into Grindelwald without knowing anyone other than by their Instagram and Snapchat usernames. And despite our best stalking efforts, that was not enough information to determine who we were going to spend the next year of our lives with. How was I supposed to know that young thug 4237 would turn out to be the Tay-adorable? Yet, through sharing beds with strangers and a shirtless check-in incident, we upgraded from surface-level conversation to real connection pretty quickly. And then the very next morning, we were hiking in the hail against our own will. Maybe you were in shorts like me, or you forgot a rain jacket, also like me. But we carried each other through it. And whether it was just merely surviving that hike, or failing to convince Mr. Lamont to play blackjack with us, or being part of the exclusive Fine Nine, orientation did more than just introduce us to each other. It introduced us to a version that we hadn't yet discovered. That became the pattern of our year. Time and time again, we were placed in uncomfortable situations. Each one taught us something that comfort never could have. Back home, we had our own routines. We had our own friend groups, food spots, sports, and familiar places. But coming to NJC forced us outside of all of that. It pushed us past our comfort zone and in many ways forced us to take our first real step out into the world. But that was easier said than done. Early on, I had my own moments of doubt. I questioned why I had left home, why I had put myself in a country where I barely spoke the language, and why I had left behind my friends and family for a semester filled with so much uncertainty. But sitting in this discomfort forced me to reflect on who I was and what I wanted from this final year of high school, something I never would have done if I had just stayed comfortable. Many of us shared these feelings. Each of us came to NJC having our own expectations, insecurities, and anxieties. However, throughout our time here, our anxieties eased, and what we found instead was more meaningful than any of us could have expected. We found a community that loved and valued people for who they were. From Fenton's morning greetings to McCormick's directions on every school trip and Lucy Turk's invitations to play Roblox in the library, NJC welcomed all of it. What made you stand out here made you fit in, and that's rare. So just like that, one semester became two, and in embracing the discomfort came so many opportunities for discovery, and some of the most memorable came right here in Switzerland. Together, we explored the Swiss Alps, watched Lake Neuchâtel sunrises during early morning study sessions, and partook in a couple too many Place Prix boner boxes. The Yawn hike alone had us questioning our life choices, halfway up a 40-degree incline, but we made it to the top, and it became one of the memories we talk most about. I mean, maybe it was a traumatic combination of reaching our VO2 maxes and Teo's nighttime kimono that makes it stick in our memories, but the glue-like effect it had on us is undeniable. And then came independent travel, which turned out to be a far cry from the vacations many of us had envisioned. Whether it was the infamous Prague curse, the sketchy Airbnbs, or the Italian train strikes, very little ever went according to plan. But no matter the anxieties we felt in those moments, we have forever looked back upon these memories with deep fondness. We laugh today not because of how we felt in those moments, but because the people we shared them with made even the worst moments worth having. And that's what this year's all about. NJC is not just any other grade 12 year. It's harder to explain than that. There's a type of self-understanding that you cannot find in a regular classroom or textbook. An understanding that can only be earned through experience, through being placed far outside the familiar. And NJC was that unfamiliar. It allowed us to discover who we were by finding out who we were with. So as we leave this beautiful town of Neuchâtel, we are leaving with more than just mere memories. We are leaving with a clear sense of who we are. We are leaving with a community, and we are leaving with a family. Maybe a little bit dysfunctional at times. I don't think many families have a group chat called Love Island Season 70. That would be a little bit weird unless you're from Kinmount, Ontario. But nothing will break the bonds we made through our mutual hatred of the Swiss franc and broken toilets. So as this chapter of our life closes, a new level of uncertainty emerges. Students are uncertain about what is to come next, and our parents are uncertain about what their kids got up to at their time at NJC. But if there is one thing I am certain of, it is this. the family we have found here, the discomfort we have embraced, and the people we have become because of this place will carry us through whatever is to come next. Thank you, class of 2026, for being what made my year at NJC so special. I better see all of you at Faucon tonight. And congratulations, everybody.
Before our final announcements, we'd like to present a year-end video of NJC memories compiled by Reese Woodbridge.
And there are people who forget what it's like to be 16 when they turn 17. I know these will all be stories someday, and our pictures will become old photographs.
I wish somebody would have told me, babe, that someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
I was thinking about the band, I was thinking about the fans. We were underground, loading merch in that 12-passenger van, in a small club in Minnesota, and the snow outside of First Ave. I just wanted my name and a star. Now look at where we at, still growing up, still growing up. I would lay in my bed and dream about what I've become. Couldn't wait to get older, couldn't wait to be some. Now that I'm here, wishing I was still young. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would have told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. 'Cause someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of the good old days.
Never thought we'd get old. Maybe we're still young. Maybe you always look back and think it was better than it was. Maybe these are the moments. Maybe I've been missing what it's about. Been scared of the future, thinking about the past while missing out on now. We've come so far, I guess I'm proud. And I ain't worried about the wrinkles around my smile. I got some scars, I've been around. I felt some pain, I've seen some things, but I'm here now. Those good old days.
You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. I wish somebody would have told me, babe, someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
This concludes the formal presentations and our ceremony. I would like to let you know a little bit more about the remainder of our day. Parents, as you exit the building, NJC staff will have an insert for your program, which includes the names of all of our award recipients and donors. Each student will already have a copy of this insert in their envelope, but please feel free to take one for your own memories. Staff will be distributing on your way out. Once we leave here, and we are a little bit behind schedule, we will make our way immediately to l'Hôtel de Peru by walking up the Rue de l'Hôpital. You can follow the crowd for this 5-minute walk. Once we get there, grads, we will gather for a photograph and had the celebratory toss of their caps, after which they will then need to return the gowns to a staff member. And finally, some thank yous. First, to the staff of Temple du Bas, especially Monsieur Guerrero, our technician. Au personnel du Temple du Bas, merci beaucoup pour votre assistance. À notre pianiste, Miss Marina Chabina, et notre chanteur, Monsieur Anne-Ambrose Long, merci beaucoup. And also, thank you to our student musicians. And a final thank you to Diego Corti, Sandra Gosha, Geraldine Gagnebin, and Larissa Keelaher, and Lena Mogalon, our NJC staff, for all the work they did to make this day run smoothly. Merci beaucoup. And now, we're here. We made it to the end of the ceremony. And as our students sang earlier, questions were asked. Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Remember that the changes may be big or small, exciting or frightening, but know that you can handle the seasons and you can rise above the tides. Embrace the journey ahead of you, and you'll have a lifetime of experiences. Let's hear it one more time for the class of 2026.
Took my love and I took it down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills where the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Yes, I'm getting older too. Afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Yes, I'm getting older too. So take this love and take it down. If you climb a mountain and you turn around, fly.